Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alec Reed. This is my channel, Alec Reads, and today we are reading I Still Think You're Beautiful on Wattpad. We are reading chapter 29. Another thing, I posted yesterday, it's a project that I've recently fallen in love with. I've never really done anything like this before, but it's called the Plague Podcast. And I really enjoy it. I enjoy making it. I think that it's an amazing idea. So if you guys want to listen to that, go check that out. It's super awesome. It is exactly what it sounds like, I guess. But also, I wanted to know if you guys wanted me to do an unedited version of my video. Like, I'll post the edited version and the unedited version. And then I'll read completely through the 2 chapters, but I won't edit out my tics. I won't edit out my family being loud, my mistakes, things like that, so that you can see the raw, natural content. I wanted to know if that's something you're interested in. You can always comment and let me know. You can always email me and let me know at readsalec@gmail.com. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoy. Like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I will jump right into the video. Chapter 29. Harry. As I lay in the hospital wing, somewhere between dead, asleep, and awake, I could hear people talking next to me. I usually had a high tolerance of pain, but my head felt like it was going to explode. My throat was dry, and I felt like I was being weighed down on the bed. I tried to unglue my sore eyes and heard the conversation much clearer. "Don't tell Harry." I recognized that voice. "Don't tell me what?" I coughed. I didn't sound like me. I continued to cough uncontrollably until someone was by my side with a glass of water. "Here, drink this." I sipped graciously. The water eased the scratchiness of my throat. I gave the glass back and felt the similar shape of my glasses being pressed into my hand. I immediately placed them on my face and saw the person who I didn't want to see staring back at me. "Hi," he said. I looked past him at Hermione. "How long was I out?" I asked her. 4 days, she replied. "Can someone get Madame Pomfrey?" I saw Malfoy nod out of the corner of my eye, and thankfully he left the room. "Why is he here?" I asked my friends. "Because he cares about you so much. And Harry, I know you didn't want to talk about this, but why did you try to do that to yourself?" Hermione said. I looked at my arm. It was wrapped tightly in bandages, the skin around it pale and thin. It clung to my bone desperately. "You're right, as always, Hermione. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm not ready yet." She nodded and sat on the bed next to me. That's when I broke down. That's when it all came flooding back. She wrapped her arms around me as I leaned into her and cried. Ron stood awkwardly by the curtain, his face full and of friendly concern. "I'm sorry." "Harry, you don't have to be sorry. You just don't do that again. You scared us all. I couldn't live with myself if you were gone." I choked back my crying as Hermione rubbed my back in an attempt to calm me down. I heard the curtain pull back and looked up to see Madame Pomfrey. Malfoy was standing behind her. "Right, everyone out, please. I need to talk to Mr. Potter." Everyone said goodbye and left the hospital wing. Pomfrey did a diagnostic and gave me a few potions. Then she brought a chair up next to the bed and sat down. "Did they catch the person who was trying to kill me?" "Other than me, of course," I added silently. "Not exactly," she replied. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It was Delaney, but he hasn't been found." "Oh." I thought back to all of the blank spaces in my mind of the meetings with my professor. He'd been poisoning me. How could I have been so stupid, so oblivious? Harry, I've diagnosed you with PTSD and depression, Madame Pomfrey stated. What's that? I wondered. Post-traumatic stress disorder. It's correct that you've been having flashbacks from the Battle of Hogwarts. I nodded, and that you attempted to take your own life. At that moment I froze and looked up at Pomfrey. This is a serious problem, Harry, and I advise you to talk to someone about it. That's why your headmistress has called for a healer from St. Mungo's to come talk to you once a week. Is that all right with you? She placed her hand on mine and gave me a weak smile. I smiled back and nodded. She got up to leave, placing some more potions on my bedside table and telling me to drink them. Madame Pomfrey. She turned around. Can you make sure Malfoy doesn't visit me? I don't want to see him. She clenched her jaw but nodded slowly and walked behind the curtain. I know I was being childish and probably selfish, but I couldn't face him right now. Even if he did deserve the chance to explain himself, I just wasn't in the mood to talk to him. I grabbed the potions on my table and downed them all. I instantly felt tired and fell asleep straight away. When I woke up, the hospital wing was extremely dark and gloomy. My glasses had dented my face where I'd been too tired to take them off. I straightened them and sat up, my weak arms buckling under my weight. I heaved myself up whilst trying to pull the pillows with me to stand them up, which was very tricky considering I couldn't even sit up without support. Finally, I was more or less sat up, leaning on the pillows, my head spinning, trying to make sense of what had happened. Then I heard a noise, like a scuffle of a pair of shoes. My head instantly snapped up, causing my vision to go all funny again. The curtain was pulled back, and a blonde head appeared from behind it. He saw I was awake and smiled. I scowled, which caused his smile to drop. Go away, Malfoy, I spat. No, Harry. I need to see you, to talk to you. Do you know how worried I've been? I didn't look at him. I wasn't in the mood to talk to him. No, I don't, and frankly, I don't care, so just leave me alone. I sat on the bed. I still refused to turn in his direction. Harry, please. I didn't mean for that to happen. It just did. She grabbed my face. I tried to push her off. I did. Please. It wasn't my fault. He sighed. Please just look at me. I need to know you're okay. I need to know what's going on with you so I can help. Let me help you, please. His voice cracked, which made my heart break. I reluctantly turned my head, my eyes full of tears. I looked up at him as he stared at me, as if taking in every inch of my appearance, like he was trying to memorize the way I looked. He stopped at my eyes. His own were clouded red and had dark circles under them. I didn't want him to be losing sleep over me. That wasn't supposed to happen. I found myself asking, what was I going to gain out of this? What was I going to hurt everyone I cared about? That's not me. I'm supposed to be the hero, aren't I? I'm sorry. I practically leapt into his lap as tears started to spill. He enveloped me into a hug, making me feel safe and warm. I missed this. I missed him. Everything would hopefully work itself out. Fingers crossed. Chapter 30. Draco. I'm sorry. He stuttered before bursting into tears and jumping onto me. I swear I heard a crunch, but ignored it as I held his small frame in my arms. Damn, I missed this. So much. I grabbed his top as if I didn't want to let go, but not too hard as I wouldn't hurt him. You should be. You scared me so much. I rested my chin on his head as he snuggled into me. For the first time, I felt whole. I felt like I couldn't do anything as long as he was in my arms. It was a wonderful feeling. I tried to keep calm, but my bottom lip started trembling as the realization hit me that he was safe and alive. I love it when you cry, I heard Harry mumble with a chuckle. What? He sat up and turned to face me, his skin only moderately less pale than before, his mouth a ghost of a smile instead of a scowl he gave me earlier. Your eyes look so beautiful. You're so beautiful. I love you so much. He wiped my tears away, cupping my drooping face. He put his arms around my neck. He winced as he did so, but I couldn't contradict him as his lips were on mine in a matter of seconds. I smiled in between kisses. Each kiss was a step closer to heaven. He sat on my lap and straddled me as we kissed, each soft peck turning into a savage snogging, and I moved my way down his neck, tracing along his collarbone, leaving small bruises marking my territory. Harry laid back as I leaned over him, careful not to crush his small body, and he smiled, a proper smile, his teeth gleaming, dimples crinkling, his eyes creasing in the corners. Merlin, he's so hot. You're so fucking sexy, I growled into his mouth, as Harry let out a small whimper. Even when I'm a depressing mess, he giggled, rocking his head back. Fuck, how his laugh turns me on. I grabbed his neck and carried on kissing him. The way to kill the mood, I laughed, as he brushed his hands through my hair. Usually I would be extremely pissed, but it felt so good. And we carried on snogging, our tongues dancing perfectly intertwined like two puzzle pieces, because I was never complete without him. And then we heard a whimper. That wasn't me or Harry. Someone else in the infirmary was awake. I sighed and rolled my eyes. Really? Can't you see I'm trying to make out with my boyfriend? Then we heard Madame Pomfrey's soft steps from the other side of the curtain. Then a few mumbled voices. I sat up on the bed next to Harry. How inconsiderate, I muttered. What is? He asked, placing his hand onto my shoulder and snuggling into me as if he wanted to disappear, that they would interrupt us. I felt Harry nod next to me, and I wrapped my arms around him. So, is Greengrass dead yet? He smirked, looking up at me. I kissed him on the nose. Pansy has been keeping a tight leash on me. And besides, I was too busy worried about you and Zeleny, who, by the way, tried to kill you, which was extremely stressful for me, I explained, causing Harry to snort. If anyone else had made that noise, I would find it very unattractive. Lucky I'm attractive then, isn't it? What happened with Zeleny anyway? I'm still not aware of the details. And so I explained to him how when I visited him that Zeleny had a potion and tried to kill him with, and that I recognized him as a Death Eater. Him? A Death Eater? He seemed too pathetic to me. I nodded in agreement, and proceeded to tell him about how Zeleny and I fought over the potion, which nearly sent me over the edge of the stairs. Aw, my little ferret was a brave lion for once. I glared at him. So I had to rearrange my plans of murdering until Zeleny was done with his. I finished, but Harry wasn't listening as he had already fallen asleep. I smirked and pulled the blanket over us. Just 5 more minutes, then I'll go back to my room. My eyelids started to droop as I fell asleep. Harry's heart beating against mine was very relaxing. The next morning I woke up to find Harry eating breakfast, smiling down at me, his eyes positively glowing. Morning. Madame Pomfrey said it was okay that you slept here last night. She knew how worried you were. I nodded and rubbed my eyes, not ready for human interaction yet. I snuggled back into the pillow. Time to get up, Barrett. I groaned. Leave me alone. I haven't slept properly in days because of you, so just give me one morning, please. I heard him chuckle, and then I felt his hand running through my hair. How do you get your hair so light? I bet you dye it. I sat bolt upright. How dare you suggest such a thing? My hair is completely natural and completely flawless. Much better than your bird's nest of a head. He just smirked cheekily at me. That got you up, didn't it? I punched his shoulder, but then he handed me some toast, so I softened and rested my head on his shoulder as we both read the morning paper. On the front page was an article explaining about Delaney, and if you see him, report them to the authorities. That was the most interesting thing in there. We heard a gaggle of voices get louder when the curtain was thrown back to reveal our best friends. Weasel, Hermione, Pansy, Blaze, who was accompanied by Neville. Hi, Harry, Hermione said, hugging him. So you two made up then? That depends. Is Greengrass still breathing? Harry spat. I just rolled my eyes, and everyone else gave me a warning look, which I returned. Okay, I know I'm not the most observant. You can say that again, Weasley scoffed. But I have a feeling that you guys aren't telling me something. What is it? I saw everyone try their best to put on confused faces. What do you mean? I asked. You're keeping something from me. No, I'm not. Trust me, you would have found out by now if I was. I tried to joke, to cover up the lie. Okay, he said, but his eyes looked skeptical, if only a little confused. I'm screwed. Alright, everyone, that is the end of today's episode. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and comment down below. Good morning, good afternoon, or good night. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends. Bye, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between. Goodbye, friends.